All right, hello everyone. How are you all going? Just trying different headphones, so just let me know if they're coming through all right. Seems to be giving me a bit of audio playback, which is not very good. Just give me a second. All right, that might be better. Oh, that's good. We've got a few people on. Thanks, Peter, as well, for subscribing and joining today. It's all good. All right. If for some reason they start playing up, I'm just going to swap back to the other headphones. Don't have a lot that I was going to talk about tonight. I just thought I'd put one on and see who wants to come on and have a chat. I was kind of hoping someone might have joined in, but that's all good. I changed my time a little bit to suit the Queenslanders, but it is a Sunday night, so we'll see. How good was Bucks live feed last night with all the shows? It's funny how quickly a couple of hours can get away from you. Thanks, Lukey Reed, for joining in as well. Getting a good mix of people, which is fantastic. Terry's sleeping. Hope he's going all right, Robin. I struggle reading the comments there. Thanks, Rob, as well, for joining. Yeah, I know, right? I'm not going to lie, because I'm in the middle of writing reports at the moment. So it's kind of good that it finished a bit earlier rather than if he was playing the videos and went all night. Still felt like it went all night, though. It was good. I was thinking through it when he said about the 4 Australians at the end. I don't stand a hope in hell because this is all way before my time. But then I came through it with the Wiggles. Yeah. It's one thing that's tricky with daylight savings here and not in Queensland is that trying to get past dinner time and then, if you start at 8 o'clock up there, well, it's already 9 o'clock here and your nights blow out pretty quickly. But in saying that, the sun's still shining a bit around 8:15, so yeah, not too bad. Pretty hot here today. A few storms around, but we sort of missed them. We had a bit of rain this week, which is good because Anthony and Rochi and I are going camping this weekend coming up, or next weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the weather's looking all right from what I had a look at. I'll just check it again. It's going to be a little bit warm, but I don't think it's going to be unbearable. So it's saying Friday 31, Saturday 27, with a shower or two. It's been saying rain every day here, but we've probably had the last 7 days when they've said we're going to have rain each day. We've only probably had 2 days of rain. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining in. Got a few more people. I think doing a Saturday and Sunday are a bit better than doing a Friday night because most people are out and about doing things or too tired. I'm not going to stay on too long, though. Still got a lot of work to do, ready for the week ahead. All right, I'm just going to get straight into it, and I'll try and read the comments as we go, so I don't have the talking ability of Buck to keep talking. I have to stop and read. So if I go quiet, that's what I'm doing. I'm reading the comments. All right, I'm just going to share this. Here we go. All right, won't talk about this one too long because I've spoken about it before. Anyone that wants to come along this Friday, Saturday, and leaving Sunday morning, Rochi, Anthony, and I are going to Lake Glenbourne. If you want to come along, feel free. There's a few people said that they're just going to wait and see how they're going because it is getting to the busy season with the weather and everything. If you want to come along, if you want to come just for the Friday or the Saturday, or if you're not that far away and you don't want to camp the night, but just want to come for a dinner and drinks, you're more than welcome. Just send me a message. If you already know me on Facebook, just do it there, or just send it to me on YouTube and we'll sort something out. Thanks, Buck, for joining in. Peter's camping at Lucinda. The humidity is what kills you. I noticed a lot lately here that it's the nights that seem worse than the days because there's just no breeze of a night. Oh, it's no good, Buck. Still that bloke behind you, the mirror, look out. Where is he? Speaking of fatalities, we actually I play cricket on weekends, not all the time, because I need my sunburns to rest. We had a guy who said he was ready to play this weekend. We ended up getting washed out, but he said he was ready to play on Wednesday. No, yeah, Wednesday. And then we get a message Friday, he's killed himself. So happens right under your nose all the time, doesn't it? What time will you get to Glenbourne? I'm not sure yet. It's going to be I think Friday's supposed to be a little bit warm, so I'm probably 4 o'clock-ish if I can. Any earlier, and I'm just sitting up in the middle of the day. Yeah, I don't know why they don't. And nearly every time it happens, everyone always says, "Oh, but they were so happy," or you wouldn't expect it. So not very often it's someone that you knew, or lots of people knew that they might have had some mental issues or depression and everything, but no. And that's the thing, that unlike other sicknesses, you get a little bit of sort of warning, but this is, like, as I said 2 days ago, he said, "Yep, all good to play, thumbs up," and then you find out Friday, we're going to play cricket Saturday, find out Friday afternoon. I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but I can only assume it was either Thursday night or Friday morning. If only more people got out and went camping with each other, hey? Solve a lot of problems. Hey Trev, how you going? Thanks for joining in. How you going up there as well? Haven't been swimming with the Crocs? Anyway, I'm just going to keep talking about this for a little bit, and then I'll come back to the chat, and you guys can amuse yourselves. So anyway, Glenbourne, feel free to come along, have a look into it. Even if you decide on Friday afternoon that you want to come, that's fine. It's not like you have to book through us. You just book yourself and turn up. There is a close time at the office, though, that you have to pre-arrange, and I think that's 5:30. So if you're going to go, you need to either pre-arrange before then or make sure you're there before that. Only 30, I think it's 33 a night. We're doing unpowered sites, not powered sites, because where the powered sites are is not near the dam itself, sort of like near the office area. So we're hoping to go near the amenities kiosk. So if you've been there before, you know where I'm talking, and if you haven't, that's where we're going to aim. If for some reason there's lots of people there or we can't get good sites there, then we're probably going to be going the campground that's before it or just after it. It's sort of, you get big space campgrounds, and there's sort of, then you get 100 meters of bush or something, another big campground. There's campgrounds all the way around the whole lake. So just a quick map again to show you. We've got the red circles where we're hoping to be camping. And there's the road coming in. The first blue circle there is where the office and powered sites are. So you can see how you drive around. All these little tracks going, the white thinner lines is sort of to campgrounds, but there's more tracks than what that's shown as well. That's one good thing. Yeah, hope it's nice and green like that. I reckon after having a little bit of rain this week, if they got, like, well, I don't know, we got an inch or two this sort of week, so things are greened up a bit. If they got that too, it'll help. But you never get good, well, the dams around here, you never get good grass around it because it's just all clay and heaps of people camping, and they're usually on a slope, so they just erode. It's the only downside with the lakes and dams around here. They're not really good for camping. Lostock Dam over at Gresford's not too bad, but a lot of permanent residencies there, and I don't know, just didn't have as good of a feel as some of the other places. Now, thanks, Jordan, for joining in. Better off getting the virus now, and then you'll be clear for Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, pretty much brown everywhere, Robin. I think they said up, was it Longreach, Emerald Way, they said 100 to 250 mils or something, so things will start to green up. And where the Legend camp is next year is starting to green up a bit, which is nice too. Not bad from Mary. They are. Yeah. Yeah, Brad and Mary are just down the road. They're going to be busy this weekend, which most people are. It's getting hot and close to the Christmas season. Everyone's catching up. I've already had our first Christmas event yesterday for the car club, so that was nice. Good to sort of get it out of the way early too, because then you end up having to choose between events. So I think every weekend from now on, Christmas events, which means lots of drinking and eating. I've been to Glenbourne and had a storm, couldn't get caravan out due to the clay. Yeah, you could easily see how that would happen. There is a chance of rain on the Saturday. It doesn't have the weather yet for the Sunday, but at the moment, with the heat and humidity, anything could change. But it's not. I've only been there once. It's still a nice spot. $33 a night's not too bad for down this way. Like if you go to the coast, you're looking at $80 sort of plus. So it's not a bad way if you want to have a bit more room and still near water. Last time we went, we just took the stand-up paddleboard, and it was still good fun. I think it's around 90-95% as well. So the dams get a bit yucky when they get low. Anthony would know from what's the one up there? Keep It. I took a school group there once, and it was only 0.9%. It wasn't even a dam. It was a dirty old creek. It was filthy. Yeah, there's plenty of us around the Hunter, Newcastle area. So I think next year it'll be a good time for a lot of us getting together and going camping. I had a look today, and we're almost halfway through our waiting time from when the Legends event got announced. I think it was announced in April. So we're almost halfway. It'll come quicker than we think. I've been to Lake Liddell, Jamie, only for the, what do you call it? Go-karting. I haven't been there to camp. I think I was always put off because it was near the highway and near the power stations. But a lot of people do say it's a good spot. It's flat. Broadbeach Tourist Park for the Paul McCartney concert. $270 for 3 nights, powered grass site. It's expensive, hey, but they always book out. So as long as it's just supply and demand, isn't it? I've just put up here. This is a rough map. We're going to try and go for a drive on the Saturday, probably the morning. It's only, I think it says there, it'd be about 3 hours driving. That's driving non-stop. I have heard that some of these roads have been locked off. So we'll see what happens. I haven't had time to go out and check them out myself. But if we can't go there, there's still other drives. We can go to the Dingo Gate. You've got the Hunter River there that you follow all the way, because the Hunter River leads into Glenbourne. Pretty sure it does. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it goes near it. Anyway, so yeah, we can go to the Dingo Gate. There's plenty of things still there for us to go and do. Should be good for a fish too. Yeah, I'm going to try and got a few lures there to try and chase some bass. They're all right eating fish. I'm not big on fish, so I just enjoy the actual fishing part rather than the eating. Lake Liddell is good, but no swimming. Maybe one day we can swim in there again. Yeah, I wonder whether they'll ever happen. I reckon they'll forever have signs saying that you can't. Oh, there you go. You don't get the highway noise. That's good to know, Jamie. Well, where are you, Jamie? You're Maitland Way as well, I think, aren't you? So anyway, maybe that's a future one. Once the summer's done, we can go there. Oh, let's go off that for a second. I'll just catch up on these comments. It's good. Got 19 on. I don't really expect many people to join on when I'm on, but it's good to see a few people on and a few new people, which is fantastic. Thornton. Oh yeah, so not far at all. Yeah, one road is closed, but you can still get to Lingalonga. Yeah, the Lingalonga and the Moon End pub, they're easy. That's just all tar road there. I don't think you hit gravel until you get to the Dingo Gate. I'd like to actually do a drive from the Dingo Gate. You go over Gloucester, then you can come back. You know, go to the coast or come back through Dungog. And there's a few good walks and stuff over there from Barrington Cottage. I think that's from the Dungog side, and then you can walk across to Barrington, which is the Gloucester side. I think it's like a 16k walk or something, but it'd be good. You go over a few gorges and things. Have you ever gone to the Lingalonga though, Rochi, or the Moon End pub? I've been to each one. I've only eaten at Lingalonga once, and been to the Moon End a couple of times. You actually camp across the Hunter River at Moon End. There's a suspension walkway bridge there, but it's not the. It used to be an alright little campground, but it's not as nice as what it used to be. Yeah, it's still a nice drive, and you got all the horse studs through there as well. Around the Beltrees area. It's nice looking at what you can't afford. All right, let's see what everyone else is up to. I only want to go for an hour because I've got work to do. Been raining a bit here in Brisbane and everything's greener. That's good. I'd like to get up there again. It's been a while since I've been up that way. Can't even remember the last time. I think last time I went Brisbane way. Oh, Harvey Bay, but yeah, I only went through Brisbane. I didn't do anything there. Yeah, mate, we usually see yeah, that's what it's a nice country pub, that one, but in the actual pub itself, it's quite small. It's a nice building and everything, but it's nice sitting outside there. They've done a good job, and the owners have taken over it. They've done a lot of work to it. Jordan, Len, it's good to see different people do live feeds now. All I watch these days is YouTube, and good to get some variety, even though, like Land Rovers, I won't judge. Went and looked at some today, but I thought, nah, I've got enough. Yeah, well, that's why, like, even if you don't have YouTube, and you can still join in and do a StreamYard. And if you're not confident doing it, we can always, like, StreamYard's just a platform that you can do. It's a bit like Zoom and things, or what's the old, was it Skype? Anyway, so if you're not sure, you can always just get on. You can just have a practice with a couple of people, and you can quickly go in and out of it. It's just like a FaceTime thing, really. Only way to Brisbane, straight through the place. Yeah, I've got a sister up there. It's not too bad driving around. Like, compared to driving to Sydney, I'll drive Brisbane any day. But yeah, I don't know. All cities are a bit the same. What do you do there? Shop, eat, drink. Yeah, we used to, Rocha, we used to go Barrington, Gloucester way a lot as a family when I was younger. I'd like to go back there. And we used to also live at Old Bar, and it's only like an hour from Gloucester to the coast. So you could easily make a good week trip out of it. Plenty to do there. All right. Now, since it's Legends, and I posted on the Legends thing, Let's see. Do a poll. There we go. Gloucester's a nice town. I can't believe how cold it gets there. Yep. Well, especially coming from where you know, up north. Nearly everything's cold. I went to uni in Armidale and it's worse than Gloucester. All right, got a few people there. So I went and checked Woolworths, Coles, couldn't find it, and ended up getting it at IGA, and they had that. I guess it's still on sale until Wednesday, whatever. Only $5. So I thought I'd get a couple. I didn't realize how many different ones they had. I got the mandarin one because I do like mandarin, and that's the one that Rob was recommending. And it's gone. Cool bottles too. Where are we over here? Yeah, so these are the ones that they've got. I've only had, so I got the mandarin. It was good, and orange, mango, apple, pineapple, passion fruit. It's a bit like a breakfast juice, sort of everything in one. It's really good too. I'll have to try the other ones another day. I'm not big on cloudy apple, but I'll still give it a crack. Let's have a look. The place with no Crocs. I bet there's heaps of people walking around with Crocs there. Take to the top spot in Barrington Tops one day. There's heaps of campgrounds up there, and that's the best camping, I reckon. We used to go. It was Barrington. It wasn't far from the Barrington Cottage, I didn't think, the bunkhouse or whatever they call it, and past Rocky Crossing, and there was a few campgrounds up there, and we'd go kayaking or canoeing down the rapids. It was good. It was like 6 Ks. So you drop a vehicle at one end, and then bring it back, and then you go down. It's, probably most of the day going. Depends on how high the river is at the time. Well, I'm thinking, Buck, I reckon these would be perfect size to go in a angle fridge or something, because they're easy enough to pick up, but because they're square, it uses the room better. And 1.5 liters is good. The passion fruit one isn't too bad either. Yeah, well, I went there the other day and they were $5, and I think I grabbed 3 of them. I thought, you don't need to drink that much juice, and it's even like, it is a bit of money. Like, you get what you pay for. Like, it's better than the other juice, but I wasn't going to spend $15 on juice just for one weekend. I don't drink a lot of juice, but I reckon that's a good thing. Like, don't drink it as often, but when you do, get the better stuff. Heaps better than the your long life stuff on the shelf. Yeah. So if you haven't seen them before, square base, everything, and they got the bigger cap on it too. So the cap's twice the size, so it's easy to get it off. So yeah, need to rinse it out though before it starts to get yuck inside. But that's what I thought too. Great bottles for anything, and they'd be good in an esky too. If you freeze them, put them in the corners, or if you could even use them as like a divider down your esky. Separate, you could probably even use it as a divider, put a bit of loose ice, and that could be for your drinks. And then on the other side, you could put a bit of your food on there. That way they won't get soggy. Just thought of that. That's a good idea. You can use it if you want. Yeah, Rochi, like, I had a look online and it said that you could get them at Woolies. And I went Woolies, couldn't. Went to Coles, couldn't, but IGA had them. But I don't know how long they've been stocking them because I haven't looked for them in the past. And quickly, because we're already halfway through at my time, going off what Buck's live feed last night got me thinking a little bit about different comedians. Hey Lanny, do you have to do StreamYard on a computer or will it work on a phone? I imagine it will work on a phone. I don't know. If there's an app, it will. I don't know. I don't know what others like. I don't know if Buck uses an iPad or whether he uses a computer. He would know, or Rob would know. They've used it more than I have. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just making up as I go. Yeah, Woolworths has them around there. Like Morey's not that far. Like I don't know if how far south they are, or if they're in, is it select IGAs and Woolworths that choose whether they have them or not. There you go. You can do it from your phone, iMac. Yeah. Anyway, Roach, if you wanted to, download it and we can do a little practice run or something, and then we can, another weekend or whatever, we can actually have someone else on. Anyway, going back to Buck's live feed the other night, talking about comedians, even though, and like the shows, most of the shows were comic shows. And I probably knew half of them because I remember when we went from 5 channels and we got everyone had to get their set-top boxes, and then we slowly got a few more channels, and I think it was Gem or Go came on, and they used to run all the old time stuff all day. And when I get home from school, they were always on. So there's a few there I'd watched quite a bit. Like Are You Being Served was probably, and Fawlty Towers were the two that I watched the most. Yep, Anthony. Well, we can talk about it next weekend. We won't have service out there to do a practice run, but we can still, it doesn't matter. We'll sort it out. Anyway, it got me thinking, especially when Robin Williams, because he's my favourite, when that came up, and got me thinking about there's certain actors or comedians that doesn't matter what they're doing, what they're in, I'm always there to watch it. So these were the 5 that I thought. I wonder if you can work. Everyone would know Robin Williams, but I wonder whether you can work out the other 4. And while you're working that out, I'll check this poll out. So 64. So most people have had it, which is cool. And the others probably just can't get it yet. Awesome, I'll end that. Rob, I've got a Starlink, but I don't have it subscribed or whatever subscription payment. But I didn't get the RV one, which I know you can still. There's like an add-on thing, like a roaming thing you can add on to do it, but I don't have that, and I don't have the battery power and inverter for it yet either. But down the track, that's something I could look at doing. You don't know the second dude? He's my favorite. Besides Robin Williams, he's my favorite. The second one, Jim Carrey, Sacha Baron Cohen, and I recognise the other 2, but I can't remember the names. Sacha Baron Cohen, I don't know. Like they're all a bit of a unique taste, but he's so smart in what he does. Like he's rip-off sort of parody movies. I don't know. Like they're very rude. A lot of people probably don't like them, but to me they're just hilarious. They're so smart. One down the bottom right, Will Ferrell. Once again, a bit of an acquired taste. And the one up the top middle, Bill Bailey. He's in a few movies, few British movies. He sort of just had like cameo sort of parts, or small parts. But if you ever watch Black Books, he's one of the main characters in Black Books. But if you should YouTube him, he can play like 14 different instruments, and some of his he does music comedy, not skits, but yeah, like segments. And it's a different way of, because I don't know, like I like, you get the like the Melbourne Comedy Gala Festival, all that, and they're good, but it's like every comedian, they have that same way of talking and doing things, but his is different. Like most comedians, I can only do 5-10 minutes, whereas him, I can all day. If anyone watched QI, he's on that a lot, and he was on 8 out of 10 Cats or something with Jimmy Carr. He was a regular on that with Sean Locke. First time I saw Dumb and Dumber, I almost pissed myself. I laughed. Yep. My friends and I in high school, we grew up on Dumb and Dumber. We used to quote it all the time, and the Mockingbird scene with the and annoying noises. We just constantly so good. Once again, an acquired taste, but like if you're a 14-year-old boy, it was the best. And not everything that Jim Carrey does is good. Like he's got a few there I don't like, but one of my favorite actually of his is The Truman Show, which is not a comedy show at all. But I like it when actors who like he's pigeoned as a comedian, but then he can go on and do other stuff too. It's like Robin Williams can go and do other things, or did other things. Yeah, the toilet scene. I'm gonna try and remember that one now. It's been a while since I've watched it. Oh, yep. When they're both going after the girl, and then Harry ends up going on a date, and Lloyd gives him all the laxatives. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's definitely something different, but I think that's why I liked it because it was something different. It was one of those movies I saw younger, like I was probably 8 when I saw it the first time, and I just thought this is weird. And then I watched it later, and yeah, I don't know, something about it, just liked it. It's one of those ones that I can just binge watch now. That's that was when he tried to empty it out the window, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now. There's so many good scenes. It's one of those ones though. It's like it's just constant laugh all the way through. But with Sacha Baron Cohen, like Ali G, like a lot of people wouldn't probably know much about Ali G or have watched it. But if you ever, he's got Borat, which is his probably most well known. Bruno is a bit different, and a lot of people wouldn't. It's not one you'd watch with your mum, that's for sure. And then The Dictator. The Dictator is so good at absolutely like it's one of those ones that just takes the piss out of it, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of truth behind it as well. But yeah, he's he's good in anything that he's in. And I was watching they do these little round table things with like comedians and actors, and he was saying on his one thing that's good about him is because he always does a character, he doesn't get recognised on the streets as much as the others. Whereas all the others, you'd pick them straight away. Anyway, got me thinking after Bucks won last night. Different movies. Definitely something to do over the Christmas break. I think go back and watch some of those movies and TV shows. There wasn't many on there that I watched. I remember watching Hogan's Heroes was on a lot, and it's funny whenever we have I don't know it that well, but some of the other teachers and they know it quite well. And when we're in the staff room and there's an awkward moment or someone's after some help or whatever, we just go, I see nothing, or no, I see nothing, or I know nothing. I can't remember. Anyway, one of the two. It's good fun. He's married to an Aussie. Yes, is it Isla Fisher? I think redhead. I think that's her name. Yeah, he'd be someone that'd be good to sit down and have a chat with. Funniest scene I ever saw was the Nutty Professor when they were all around the dinner table and they started laughing. It's funny, like it doesn't matter what the movie is. As soon as there's anything about fart or someone taking a dump, I've lost it. But yes, I remember that one. I I used to just go back and replay it over and over. Eddie Murphy, he was really good, and he's got a few movies where he plays multiple characters. The King of not the King of Queens, Coming to America. He does a few characters in that, and it's just hilarious. He's someone that's sort of gone off the radar. He doesn't get a lot of movies anymore. I think he had a few bad ones, and but yeah, he's really good. I'm just going to write that down. I need to go and watch Dumb and Dumber, and I've got work to do, but I'm going to watch Dumb and Dumber and the Nutty Professor. Just a good scene. That'd be a good video one to do. Do like you could do movies or just good scenes from different movies. Mike Myers, yeah, he had the Austin Powers series. That was so good. It gets quoted a lot. But yeah, just the my favorite one of the Austin Powers was when they're doing the silhouette. I think it's the second one. They just get onto the island and they're in the tent, and it's just I think there's two guards or whatever. They come up and they got I think they just got their guns or whatever, and they're watching this silhouette of this tent. And Austin Powers is bent over on all fours, and she just keeps pulling things out of the bag. It looks like it's all coming out of his ass. It's just simple laughter. Blazing Saddles. Is that the one with the guy that played Willy Wonka? Died a few years ago. Gene, is it Gene someone? Haven't seen it. Actually, that is a good idea, Robin. I was just thinking, I got one of these from BCF, I don't know, a couple of months back. Should take, I wouldn't want to go camping and just watch movies, but if you're there for a few days, it'd be handy to just to have, especially like if you're just watching something sitting around, like you wouldn't watch a drama or something, but just something for laughs would be good. Baked bean scene around the campfire. I'll add it to the list. Got a lot of homework to do. Monty Python. Not as many people know Monty Python as I would have thought. Like I remember I was probably 13 or something when I first watched The Holy Grail, and it was just like nothing. You just couldn't compare it to anything else. And there, once again, it's funny, but it's witty as well, and just random shit. Like who would think of that? I just remember even the coconuts as they go on everywhere. But yeah, every scene was just hilarious. And obviously the Black Knight scene. Oh, when my very first class I had, they used to do a talent quest thing or whatever. And there was this boy, I taught a 5-6, and this boy in year 6, and he used to always do go in the talent quest with his sister. I think they ran it every second year, and he used to always go on it with his sister, and they'd do a little skit of some sort. Anyway, his sister went to high school, so his mum asked me whether I'd join in with him. And so we did a little Monty Python skit. I can't remember what we did, but geez, it was fun. And because we used to just quote it all the time, like the appropriate stuff. We used to quote it all the time in the classroom. It was just good fun. It's only a flesh wound, missing both legs and arms. Come back here, I'll bite your leg off. Life of Brian's a good one too. Not as good as Holy Grail, I think, but there's a few good scenes in there. Damn, now I'm going to have to go and watch Monty Python again. That would be, I know you'd probably get, was it like the copyright thing against you, but geez, that would be good fun to go and watch that with people. And it's funny with the comedy, like I'll sit there and I'll laugh myself, but for some reason, when you watch it with other people, Bring Out Your Dead. What's that one? It's like they're going, Bring out your dead. I think that's the one. Or is it? Anyway, the monks where they're going around just going. Yeah, the Poms definitely have the best. Definitely have. Oh, just so good. More people need to watch this shit. Oh. There's a few, once again, I'm lucky that the people I work with, there's a few there that know Monty Python, and we just, every now and then, we'll just if it's silent, one guy's got a big drink bottle. And if it's all quiet, he just goes boom, and we go boom. It's definitely contagious. Others laughing. Gosh, I have to pull myself together. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. I don't know that one as well, but I remember that part. And then there's the old man in the hole. Hasn't spoken or something for 80 years. But isn't it what's his name? What's the character's name? Because he's not the Messiah. It's like Bill or something. He has like just a real random generic name. Anyway, and then everyone's gonna have to go and watch it. I reckon if you tried to put the Monty Python though, I don't know whether it's BBC, but I reckon you'd still get hit for it. I'm not dead. Well, you will be by Tuesday. Then he just gets the thing, clobbers him while no one's looking. They're so good. And the shrubbery scene. Oh, every scene is just non-stop, and the bridge with the it's like the old guy anyway, who's like a wizard type person, goes across the bridge, and he has to answer 3 questions, and in the end, and if he doesn't know it or if he gets it wrong, whatever, he's blown up. And in the end, it's about the swallow, and he says, "Well, is it an African or a European swallow?" He goes, "I don't know." I'm gonna have my favorite one though. I'm gonna bear with me a moment. This is I just have to get this quote up. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, where are you? I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal food trough wiper. I fight in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries. Is there someone else up there we can talk to? No, go away, or I shall taunt you a second time. Fucking hilarious. And I'm pretty sure, Greg, I'm pretty sure the reason they did the coconuts is because they were on a budget and they couldn't afford real horses, so they just did coconuts. Well, once again, how classic is that? Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go and have some water in a moment to rehydrate after wetting myself. Anyway, a few things going back to camping, because otherwise I'll just keep laughing. With the Black Friday sales, did anyone manage to score anything good? Where are we here? This one pisses me off so much. Kids will constantly be talking, and then as soon as you're just like, oh, I need to go and do something for a moment, and you say, talk amongst yourselves, quiet. I'm like, you bastards. You talk the whole time, and then when you finally get a chance, nothing. There's one, it was in my first or second year of teaching, and my kid, I had a year 6 class, and year six is the hard year in primary school. That's when they're getting too big for their boots. And I was going through, there was a bit of a rough patch, and the kids their behavior was just annoying all the time. They just wouldn't shut up. Anyway, so I came in one day and I didn't say a word. the whole day. And so for the first 15 minutes, they were like, "Oh, this is great," blah 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 blah, and thinking they could get away with things, and I wasn't going to get up them about it. And then 20 minutes hit, and they started going, "Oh shit, what have we done? This is because of you." And they started turning on each other. Hilarious to watch. And then that went for about 10 minutes. And then for the rest of the day, I just wrote the instructions on the board of what we had to do. Not a word, except for when they needed to, because we still did questions, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't speak. But not a word out of turn, no behavior. Everyone worked the whole time. Even the kids that wouldn't worked because they just thought, "Oh, shit, we've pissed him off." That was hard not to talk. And it was hard not to laugh at times because I can't keep a straight face. Black Friday sales are a raw dead set. Yeah, they're not. There's a few all right sales here and there, but most of the time it's just there's sales on all the time. And I did notice that some places do put prices up, so then it looks like you're getting a bigger discount. If we talked amongst ourselves in the 70s, we copped a blackboard duster in the head. Those were the days. Well before my time. Lenny is still allowed to throw a wooden duster at them. You are, but if you hit, you can only do it once. Unless if you got no witnesses, go for it. But we don't have chalkboards anymore. We barely even use whiteboards. It's all just digital. So it's harder to throw things, and if you do, they're more expensive if they break. No Black Friday sales for me. Last thing I bought was a drifter bag and a Nintendo Switch for the girlfriend's son. Fair enough. I had to look at a few things there, and I was getting to the stage where I don't really need this stuff, so I just didn't bother. And the funny thing is that so they have Black Friday, which isn't just on Friday; it goes for like over a week, and then they got Cyber Monday, and then you're gonna have Christmas sales, and you're gonna have Boxing Day sales, New Year sales. Like there's always sales anyway. I can't say where I teach, but it's in the Hunter Valley at a high school. Used to be primary for 6 years, and now high school for a year and a half. Pros and cons both ways. But yeah, I wish if I ever do leave teaching completely, that's when I'll write my book. I'll be rich. But yeah, I was looking at the Black Friday sales, and like your Anaconda, BCF, like your camping stores, there was nothing there that was any different to the normal prices. And like even like your super cheap, it's like 20% off. I'm like, well, you have those sales all the time anyway. You have better sales. It just sounds like because it's store wide that it might be better, but it's not. What else? Oh, quick question for you guys, and then I see we've lost a few, so I'll head off soon. Just look for the broken Land Rover in the school parking lot. That's where I don't take that to work because I know the kids will do something to it. So I just take my little cheap A to B car. Yeah, no, I don't teach. There is one student who I did teach last year whose parents were at the Mr. Buckaroni Harvey Bay camper. That's it. I got a new Seagear L-shaped mat, about $50 off from. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That's one thing I was actually looking at, Anthony, was because especially after watching the Rob's live chat with Teresa, and she's saying about the mats and everything. And I was like, I've just got a cheap Kings one that I bought ages ago, but they're probably not much different to just shade cloth. But I hate the way that they're not great to walk on. Like they just bulge everywhere, and they end up more of a pain in the ass than just not having it, I reckon. Have you heard, Landy, about the big blitz the coppers are doing at the moment on modified 4 drives? No, but I can tell you there's plenty around here that they could get. The main one is just tires sticking out from the guards. I don't know how so many of these get through. is there a subject called life skills, mate? Teaching kids banking, common dog stuff. There is a course for life skills, which it runs like, say if you're doing timber, you do timber, but it's just the practical side of things. You're not doing all like the detailed drawings or the more academic. But as far as like skills for everyday life, no. Anyway, there's lots of things wrong with the system. That, like, for example, kids go backwards when they hit high school, like in their English and maths, because then they're bringing in things that aren't relevant. Like your top kids just keep them going, even some of your middles, but your bottom kids, they keep jamming hard stuff at them. It's like, what's the point? Then one, they're never going to use it. Two, they don't understand it, so they disengage. It's just a waste of time. Just a lose-lose situation, that one. Kids at our high school would unbolt your drive shafts for a laugh. I don't think the kids at my school would know how to do that. My main thing is that they just key your car or something, you know. That'd be an absolute pain in the ass. Alice mentioned that he finished year 12 last year. Said school should teach that. I really don't like. Things are definitely. Look, that'd have to be a different night, because once you get me going, I just don't stop on that stuff, and it frustrates me. I'd love to chat with year 12 kids for a day and tell them a few home truths. Show them how to be decent humans. I think the only way, like, society is definitely going down the gurgler. The only way that we can really get society back on track is one of two ways, and most people disagree with it. One is like your national service reserves, get them when they're 16, even if it was like one day a fortnight where they go, you know, do whatever they do in Army Reserves or something. And the other one, which once again, like, a lot of people don't agree with, but my thing is, you should not be allowed to have kids if you can't support yourself. You should not be allowed to have kids if you've had kids taken away from you. Yet it continues. And this is the problem. You have a family, well, usually lots of different names, and one mum or dad end up having like 7 kids. They're all shit, and they all breed. It's the only thing they can do is breed, and they just live off Semlink. And I just think my tax money is going just to support these people doing the wrong things. And then they end up just doing cash in hand work or drugs and all this. And I'm just thinking, why? And the problem is they grow up seeing this and they go, well, I can have my mobile phone, I can have all these other things, and I don't have to work. So why would I? And I don't think, like, they're two things that need to change, and no one's got the balls to do it. And I don't really understand why. Like, to me, I know I've had this discussion with other people and other teachers, and some of them disagree with me, but I struggle to see why. I just don't understand why you should be. It's a bit like if you have if you have an animal, you do the wrong thing, you're not allowed to have animals. Why do we not do that with kids? It just doesn't make sense. And then, of course, you get people good people, financially stable, try to have kids, can't have kids. How messed up is that? There should be more hands-on trade-based learning opportunities like trade schools. Yep, and that's another problem too, that the government got rid of. I don't know about other states, but the government culled a lot of our TAFE, which is like your trade schools. They're slowly, the union's slowly fighting to get them back, but it's hard to get them back. And this is why a lot of, like, I only finished school 12 years ago, and you had to fight for jobs then. Whereas, like, you could still get them, but you had to fight for them. Whereas now, even the not so desirables are getting jobs. But the problem is they've been not turning up school, they skip classes, they do the wrong thing, treat people like shit, always on their phone, so they don't hold down their job anyway. So, and I don't, the only thing I can see happening is that our taxes will then go up because we've got to cover them, which is a lot of shit. Our youngest has just finished year 10 and he's going to TAFE next year. Yep. And see, that's the thing too. Like, I've got like a lot of kids say to me when they get to year 10, year 11, it's like, oh, I'm about going through the year 12. And I said, if you don't want to, don't do it. Go get a job. There's no, like, otherwise if you don't know what you want to do or you think you might want to go to uni, fair enough, stay. But if you know you don't want to go through or you want to go and do a job, just go. There's no point hanging around because then you end up just wasting time, learn bad habits anyway. 12 apprentices oversee my job and have 4 more organised for next year. Oh, that's quite a lot. Australia's struggling for tradies. Blokes need to piss off year 11 and 12 and get a trade. For a lot of blokes, 11 and 12 is a waste of time, a waste of years. You don't need that to get an apprenticeship. Nope, 100%. And that's what I say to kids. Kids get a shock when I say to them, just leave. They're like, oh, but you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say stay at school. I'm like, why? And sometimes you get your good kids, they're smart kids, but if they know they want to go and do a trade, well, go in year 10. Don't wait. The only other thing would be your license. If you can't get around that, you might hang around a little bit longer. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that because I'll just keep on going and end up getting pissed off. Couldn't get any of this in Harvey Bay last year, so even though next year's just across the border, I'll be stocking up before I go. How many kids go to uni and then never use that skill? What a waste of time and money. Yep. So my partner and I, she's a teacher as well, and our HECS, we've both done at least one degree, and then I'm halfway through another, and she's done a master's, all in education. And our HECS, by the time they I always grew up, like they used to say, oh, just HECS it, you don't pay interest, but you do, and you pay a lot, especially because it matches inflation. So by the time that we're both finished paying our HECS, it's going to be like probably about 130 grand for both of us. So not only have you given up 4 years without pay, now you got 130 grand. That's a good house deposit right there that you miss out on. So yeah, I don't really recommend uni to a lot of people. Not unless you really, that's what you want to do, or there's something, like there's certain jobs you have to. They sell it there. Oh, that's good to know. Only Forex allowed, Legends can't. Well, I can tell you at Frilly, there won't be any Forex. There will be Twiz Old and Captain Morgan. All right, last question before I go. What is one thing that's camping related, but can be vehicle setup as well? What's one thing that you bought that was like budget that was a good buy? And what's one thing that you bought that was sort of on a budget that was a waste of time, waste of money? So for me, it would be the thing that I bought that was good. King's, was it Big Daddy Deluxe Swag? That was definitely good. And something that was a waste. It's probably going to be a King's product too. King's swag bag, actually, just cheap swag bags. I even got a June one from Anaconda. They just don't last. So by the time I've bought a couple, I should have just bought one good one, like a Darchie one. I'll be raiding your fridge, Landy. Yeah, well, you might not know where I'll be camping. So, right, where's my list? Padlock on fridge. Or, going back to Dumb and Dumber, I might just fill 1 or 2 of my empties randomly, and you take your chances. We can do the cop scene from Dumb and Dumber. That might go down well. You're at Kangaroo, aren't you, Rochi? Because I think it goes, I'm Frilly, Trev's Frilly, your, I think, Kangaroo, which is just below us. I'm not sure who else is at the others. I think it's 3, 4, I think it's about 10 sites or something there. The King's 12-volt wheel socket thing lasted 5 minutes. The winches, yeah, see, King's winches and King's spotlights and light bars, I reckon, are worth it. And their swag, yep. One thing that's a good idea to do, because usually I haven't been in King's store for a while, but when you go in, they usually have a section which might be like warranty claims, so you can get them cheap, or there'll be a spot there where people brought in all their stuff. So you can go in there and go, oh, like I remember going, and this is probably 3-4 years ago. There was heaps of fridges, heaps of generators. I'm like, well, I won't buy a fridge or a generator then, because there's a lot of them being brought back in. King's awning. I'm actually looking at the King's 270 freestanding one for, it's often on sale for $3.99. It's a little bit smaller and obviously not as good, but a lot of people say it's pretty good for what it is. And $400 for a freestanding awning is good. Otherwise, you're looking at over $1,000. And the only other option I've got is putting a tarp off the vehicle. I've got a gazebo, like a compact one. It's good, but you still need tarps or sidewalls often. I paid $700 for a solar blanket from Anaconda. KT Solar, absolute shit wiring and broken Anderson plugs. Refunded, best thing, probs. King sleeping bags. Yeah, a lot of people say the not the cheaper ones, but like the cotton ones, the real warm ones. A lot of people say they're good, and you can double them up as well. I got a XTM solar blanket, which is BCF brand, 120 watt, and I've had that for probably 6-7 years, and it's still great. Obviously, every product out there, you can probably get a good or a bad one. Butane fry pan cooker. Yeah, I was looking at those now. There's a few different ones that do it, and Robin, you might be able to let me know, and others. There's some though that are too small. Like if you that oven, because you've got is it Winnowill Fast Fold or Coleman Fast Fold, and there's one of them. They all say they don't recommend it, but who cares? Everyone's doing it. But there's one there that doesn't fit over it properly. I'm not sure if it's the Gasmate one though from Bunnings, or it could be the Campmaster from Big Dub, but there's some there that don't fit it. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting one of those too, just so then I don't have to take frying pans, even though I probably still will. That's probably one of the best things actually, those $20 butane cookers. I know they don't work as well in the cold and everything, but geez, they're handy. And I've actually compared that with a saucepan on it, boiling water versus a jet boil, and there's not much difference. Most useless item for me is King's 200 watt solar blanket. Works but barely outputs 80 watts. Yeah, that's one thing that's quite common, Peter, is that the cheaper brands tend to put out less than what they say, whereas the better brands sometimes put out a little bit more. That's terrible though. Less than half. You'd be all right, maybe up to 80%, but Foxwing 270 awning, but wasn't on a budget. I had the Batwing one, which is pretty much the same as the Foxwing. It was good. I just prefer to go a freestanding purely because if you're setting up by yourself in a light breeze, I just found the other light breeze is probably too bad, but there's a bit of a breeze that the ones with the poles that aren't freestanding, I was just constantly worried that it was going to blow away or you'd snap a hinge or something. Best thing I reckon is the Winnowill stove fireplace. They look pretty cool. It's definitely one of those things that would be on my list, but I'm like, oh, I've already got a lot of stuff. Lanny, only issue with the King's awning is the bag supposedly leaks. Yeah, and I've read that, and but really, like by the time I get home, even with my Batwing, after going camping, I'd always open the bag and drop it, not have it so it's fully set up. But, they go in like the triangle shape. I'd always drop it anyway and air it, so I'm not too worried about that. And for $400, yeah, I think that's all right. The Sirocco had good and bad points. Oh, I was like Sirocco fan. You're talking about your caravan. I think if I ever go caravan, I can't afford them, but if I ever do, it'd be an old Millard or a Viscount and do it up. Lift it a little bit and then just do it up so it's nice inside. I've seen some really good ones. But I think one thing that I'd like to do in one is to just have a pull-out kitchen, a little bit like some of your camper trailers, because inside, I guess you'd probably want a sink so you can do your teeth, and if you wanted to do a little wash up, that'd be fine. Possibly a fridge. I know I'd probably. I don't know whether I'd do the fridge inside or not, but you could have a fridge in there, and you could have a fridge in your vehicle anyway. But I wouldn't do the. I don't think I'd do an ensuite inside. Now with those $200 awning ensuites, I'd just do one of those. Anyway, Cobb Cooker and Shuttle Chef. Not sure what that one is. I have to look into that one. Butane Network in Gloucester. There's a place near Gloucester. Can't remember the name of it. It's a free camp, popular one. Went there during, I think it was Easter, but it was a really cold Easter. We got in late. It was dark. The fridge died on the way, so we had to cook up our stuff, and the butane cooker wouldn't work. But I'm not sure whether if you rugged up your butane canisters or, insulated them, whether that would make them work. Like once they're alight, do they stay alight or it's too late by then? Don't really have anything that's not worth it. Well, that's good. Big W one is smaller pan as well, so stay away from that one. Best thing I bought was Rafa 250. It's funny that even like our two dogs, we paid $500 for them, mixed breed. But even since COVID, I think you can't even get smaller dogs for under $1,000, even if they're just a bitzer. Hardcore 200 watt solar blanket was pumping out 100. Yeah, there's some of the hardcore stuff's not too badly priced either. Don't knock me, but what a King's 120 amp battery and 45 litre King's fridge the other week. So far so good. And that's the thing, if you've got 5 years warranty, well, that's a fair while anyway. And the price of them, those some of those fridges, I've even been thinking just for a smaller fridge or to have as a second fridge, the King's ones, they're cheap as. Did you go once? Is your battery, Trev, is it lithium or is it AGM? I'm still on AGM until it dies. I'm not going lithium, even though I get it there in the car all the time, ready to buy it. And your batteries are still working. Don't like all I run is just a fridge, and I don't use, or I get powered sides. King's 120 amp lithium as well for the shed. Yeah, so the old lithium ones from King's I think weren't as good, but the new ones, which are the blue top, which that's all they've got now. Yeah, so some of them, they're about $450. They were even $400 the other day. That's pretty cheap for what they are. And when your reviews are at least 80% positive, that's pretty good. Even their 200 amp hours were $690 or something. So you can get a 200 from King's cheaper than you can get like a 120 from even your mid-range places. It's hard to justify if you got the money and everything, sure, but if you're on a bit of a budget, it's hard to justify going a bit more. 45 litres is a good size too, isn't it? Yeah. I remember watching that one of Simon's ages ago when I was looking at King's reviews. And the good thing about him, like, his reviews are pretty honest. Well, they are. And he tests them in lots of different ways. It's like that one he did on the Jackery power station. And I'm just thinking that because he said how he got given it for testing. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'd be buying this. And he basically said the same thing too. Yeah. Anyway, I've gone a little bit longer. I better get going. So just quick reminder, if anyone wants to come along, Anthony, Roach, and I are going. There's a couple of people that are still sitting on the fence whether they're going to come along. If they do, that's great. If not, that's all good. We're going to have a great time anyway. We are undecided whether we'll do a few videos. I'm sure we'll get something up, even if it's just a 20-second video of the camp setup, which anyway, the shorter videos get more views than the longer ones for the amount of effort you put in. But yeah, we'll put a few photos up and put a few videos of just little bits here and there. Anthony's got a new add-on to his setup, which will be good. And I'll hopefully get a few drinks into Roachy, and we'll show his vehicle off as well. Thanks, Robin. I know we're going to have a good time. Even if the weather's a bit warm or we get a bit of rain here and there, it'll be good fun. There's plenty of shelter there as well. I bet you can't choke out 3 kids tomorrow for back chatting. If you see me on the news tomorrow, you can take some of that responsibility. Anyway, I will leave you guys to it. Thank you very much. It's good to have quite a few come on. And if anyone wants to have a practice on StreamYard or whatever, just hit me up and we can do that. But yeah, thank you and enjoy the rest of your night. See ya.